Hi, I'm Anthony Vertucci. I am one of the producers and writers of Benedict Arnold, Hero Betrayed.
I'm Tom Mercer. I'm also one of the producers and one of the writers of Benedict Arnold, Hero Betrayed.
I'm Chris Stearns. I'm the director of the film Benedict Arnold, Hero Betrayed.
You know, people are always asking me why make a movie about Benedict Arnold, and I don't know. Maybe I have to have my head examined because it's something that has taken the better part of the last 2 decades of my life to bring us to this point where we have a documentary that really sets the record straight about Benedict Arnold. I grew up in Saratoga Springs, New York, which is the place where Benedict Arnold changed the course of history by decisively defeating the British on a battlefield near my hometown. And I've kind of always felt like that's so important. But what they're teaching me is that he's a traitor and really a horrible Judas in our country's history. So there's really two sides to the story, and I felt like the other side needs to be told.
I agree, Tom. I think if there's one tie between the three of us, right, it's that we all sort of grew up in the region and we all heard these fantastical tales of Arnold as a general in the American Army, right, in the Continental Army. So we've always had a slightly different point of view on Arnold because of the events that took place in the upstate region, the Battle of Saratoga. We all played on that battlefield when we were kids. I grew up in a colonial village that dates back to 1749. So I was playing on the front lawn of Fort Johnson, right on the Mohawk River. So I think in this region, he's viewed more as an anti-hero, somebody who really contributed to the revolutionary cause and then turned back to the British. But of course, the country as a whole views him as a supervillain, right? I always joke that he's really the Darth Vader of American history, right? He's perceived so bad, but was so good at one point. So I think, one of the reasons why I personally wanted to tell the story is that my father, came from the military, and, I had a very realistic view of warfare from a very early age, hearing my father talk about his experiences in the Pacific theater of World War II. And I just thought that, if there's any way of bringing the 18th century to life and showing the opposing side of this story, then, I think that would be a really great contribution to the historical record.
We always constantly heard these rumors, Benedict Arnold was actually a hero, which contradicts everything we learned in school. So it was worthy of investigation. I think probably all of us discovered that this was a much bigger story than we ever imagined in terms of understanding Arnold, but just the entire revolution, what the culture was like, what the situation was like, its relevance to even modern times, in terms of the American experiment. Yeah, it turned out to be way bigger than I ever imagined. And I think we're really uncovering false history for sure.